You got to know the boy futuristic, ain't it? My work can make the J's do the jump, man, can't it? You got to know this the remix right here. Grand hustle, baby, it's the kings right here. You got to know we got it, package extra sloppy. Don't I love my vegetables, extra cheese and broccoli? Don't young lady like to kick it like karate? Don't I be with J Money serving everybody?
I'm back again to shoot another few videos. We're gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper into starting up a fleet. Mainly, we're gonna get in a few subjects that I don't know. I've been thinking about them over the last few months since my last videos. Gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper as far as the same few subjects, they keep recycling themselves. So I'm gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper into them. Mainly finding drivers, finding a good mechanic, finding trucks and setting them up, the various places to go. I'm gonna say over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of new revelations and a lot of new changes that have happened in the trucking industry. And it's kind of making things a lot easier to kind of get started in trucking. Show you guys how to build a solid team, to get into trucking. And we're not talking about doing it on a big grand scale. You can do it with, you can do it on a small scale and make it to where you can scale it up later on. And we're also going to talk about how to funnel the money you make into investments. That's the main purpose of making money, or making the money with trucking, is to funnel it into investments that'll pay you further down the road. So I'm really excited about this, and I don't know, I'm gonna try to do a little more mentoring, a little more hands-on mentoring with and consulting with people that want to actually get into it. Instead of just going through videos, we'll be face to face, and we'll do this, like I'll be getting my hands dirty with people who want to get mentored or get consulted. You can still look at the videos, or you can just ask me, through the comments, or through my website, or you can email me through the website, so it could be either way. You can get it for free. You can pay to read the material or look at a video, or to have it to where I'm physically there mentoring you and consulting you. It's pretty much left up to you what you want to do. One takes a lot more time than the other. If you're going to look at videos, it's going to take you a lot longer to get started than if I was like actually there with you, just pounding away with you. Me myself, I'm getting a lot closer to getting my small fleet started back up. I had a fleet years ago, well, many years ago, but things were, the information was not out there like it is today. I'm gonna say 5, 6, 7 years ago, I saw the information getting more and more, or the information started flowing a lot more freely, and I kind of saw the mistakes I made. And then at one time I swore off never owning a fleet again, but now it's such an advantageous time that we're living in right now. You can go get a fleet started, man, and actually just knock it right out the box right from the start. But you just got to know what you're doing, and you got to learn, you got to know how to avoid some mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but the mistakes, because of the information, the mistakes are very, very few. These mistakes that you're going to make now, you can handle them. You can recover from them right now. But back then, you made a mistake, it would just completely wipe you out. So that's the big difference between now and then. But without further ado, guys, we're going to get into the first subject. If you got any comments, whether they're good or whether they're bad, I can take either one. It's kind of like what you gotta kind of expect that when you're when you're on YouTube. So and I appreciate all the other new subscribers that that signed up or that have signed on to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know, I think the number's up to, last I checked, it was like maybe around 5,000, 4,800 or something like that. It was 5,100, I don't know. Okay guys, let's get to the first video, and stay with me for the next few months, and I promise you it'll be some things that you can use for yourself and getting your small fleet started. Peace. Deal with just the basic building blocks of a trucking company, and those things including just getting together. It's just some key personnel for your trucking company, whether it be big or small. You know, right now we're going to be dealing with a small trucking company, and then we're going to put things in place to scale it up later on down the road in order to take advantage of incredible ability to produce income with the trucking company. So first thing you want to do is just talk about just the basic building blocks, and this includes getting a mechanic first of all, and then of course getting drivers, getting a dispatcher, and then of course you're going to need a secretary in order to help you with the office and administrative duties. Also, we're going to talk about an accountant or bookkeeper, which is very, very important to have. A lot of times we think we can keep track of those numbers, but a lot of times, you want somebody to kind of back you up who actually know what they're doing. So you definitely want to get a good accountant. And then lastly, you want to get a lawyer. You should get the lawyer before you do anything, but for argument's sake, you just want to just get a lawyer, so that way you can avoid some of the legal trouble that you can get into during this process or even down the road. Whenever I talk to someone about starting a trucking company, the very, very first question I ask after, do they have a lawyer, is, have they found the mechanic yet? I can't stress it. I can't stress enough the importance of having a good, talented mechanic to back you up. A lot of people miss this step because I guess of the some people are just anxious to get a truck, or the excitement of getting a truck. It kind of overwhelms them, so they'll go in kind of blind in the purchase of a truck, and they'll buy the truck without really checking it out. I don't care if it's a new truck, used truck, slightly used, whatever. Not having a mechanic there with you, it can it can mean a difference between being prosperous or everything ending up in disaster. And I'm gonna give you both extremes. I purchased I say the first truck I ever purchased. It was used, and I got the truck. I just blindly walked into it, and one of my uncles, he strongly urged me to get a mechanic. I come from a trucking family, and one of my uncles, he stressed, to take a mechanic with me to look the truck over. And I agreed with him. Yeah, I need a mechanic, but I didn't listen, so I went and got the truck anyway. The bottom end of the truck was had water in the bottom end, down in the rods and mains, and the engine was trashed. The person that sold me the truck, I think they knew about it, but at that point it wasn't their problem. So long story short, I had to get in a big nasty fight to get give them the truck back, and then get my money out of them. I gave the truck back, and the guy gave me some of my money. I count that as a win. He didn't have to give me none of it, so I kind of counted that as a lesson.
After that, I started using mechanics to get my trucks and had good success. But unfortunately, that success kind of went to my head because I thought I was the one checking the truck out and, having the success with the trucks. So then when I got a new truck, I'm going to say years down the road, I had got a new truck. And I was once again, I was told to take a mechanic to look the new truck over. And I didn't do that. So I went ahead and purchased the truck, and I'm going to say, I don't know, a couple of months later, my Jake brake went out. So, of course, from time to time, I'll be going down a hill with 40,000 pounds, and I have no Jake brake at all. And out west, there's pretty big mountains, pretty big downgrades, and they're long also. So I'm going down these long grades, 6-7% grades with no Jake brake at all. So those are the two extremes as far as the point I want to make as far as taking a mechanic or having a mechanic to back you up. Some of the other advantages of having a mechanic behind you is you can get fairly cheap trucks, without having to, or rather, if you want to save some money on a truck, you can get cheap, lower priced trucks if you have the mechanic look the trucks over for you. What could be junk in some people's eyes, the mechanic can see the gold. The mechanic will look it over and he might tell you, hey, the engine's blown, but the truck is, they only want maybe $15,000 for the truck, and he tells you, hey, the engine's blown. Well, you can cut a deal with the guy for $10,000 for the same truck, and then a mechanic will find your engine for, we'll just say for argument's sake, he found a engine for $6,000, and then he'll put the engine in for another $4,000. So for $25,000, you got a 0-mile truck with a fairly new engine, and you could have spent $125,000 for a newer truck, and that truck will make you the same money as a new truck. A lot of times, you just want to. Some of the ways you can find a mechanic is you just ask around town. Sometimes you ask guys that got small fleets, or sometimes and just look for mechanics on Google around town or in the town next to you or wherever. And you want to keep it local. You want to keep your search as local as possible, because when your truck breaks down, it kind of dictates how far you have to drive in order to take your truck to get fixed. Say for instance your truck breaks down and you don't want to travel 5 cities over, take a 3-hour drive just to drop your truck off to get it fixed. So make sure it's a local search in your area. Also, make sure the mechanic, you go talk with him, check his shop out, and see if he has modern equipment, just modern diagnostic equipment. The more equipment, the better, and the more bays that he have at his shop, the better. So if he has just one big shop with one door, one in the front and one in the back, you kind of want to, you might want to use the guy for emergency, or not emergency, but you might want to use the guy for here and there, but you want to look for the mechanic that has maybe, say, from 4 to 8 bays or 10 bays in his shop. Your wait might be a little longer than usual, but the guy's resources, he might have a lot more resources to get your truck fixed than if you just went to a smaller mechanic or a mechanic with a smaller shop. And like I said, once again, you want to have the mechanic on your side, so when you take the mechanic with you to purchase the truck, you let the mechanic look the truck over, let him do his due diligence, let him do the due diligence on the truck, so that way you don't make a bad purchase and end up with a big mess of a truck. And like I said before, it can also save you a lot of money. Usually most mechanics will charge you from, depending how cool you are with the mechanic, might charge you from $150 up to, I've paid $700-800 for a mechanic to look over a truck. But this guy was thorough. He looked through everything, He looked through the engine, looked through everything. Checked the oil. He checked all the fluids. Got them all analyzed, and a lot of times you can set up a nice little monthly account with a mechanic also. By this time you'll be in the money. You'll be making pretty decent money, so you might want to approach the mechanic and just kind of strike up a deal and be like, hey man, if I give you $1,500 or $2,000 a month, it's sort of like a maintenance fund for your trucks. You got this account rolling, and then whenever your truck needs to get fixed, the money's already built up with the mechanic, so you don't really have to come out of pocket as bad as you would as if you had a surprise breakdown, and then you got to turn around and scrounge all this money up. This way, the money is already with the mechanic. I mean, he's ready to roll, and also with that kind of relationship and that kind of setup, you'll jump to the front of the line real fast as far as getting your trucks in and turned around and get them out of that shop so you can get back to making money. It's the same as what the big fleets or what the mega fleets are doing with the maintenance fund, where they're taking out 10 cents per mile or whatever, 8 cents per mile out of your settlements. The same deal, except you want to hand over the $1,000 to $2,000 a month. I would go with $2,000 a month myself, because I want that fund to build up really fast with that mechanic. Plus, the mechanic will have extra operating capital for his shop. Every time you come around, he'll have a real big smile on his face, because he knows that, hey man, this guy's giving me I think the lawyers call it a referral fee every month, monthly referral. I forgot the name of it, but it's something like that. Also, you want to set up a tire account, either through the mechanic or through an independent tire shop, because for the simple fact, you have a tire blow, you don't want to be on the side of the road paying somebody $900 for a used recap tire. And I kid you not, those prices are real. You can end up paying, depending on how far you are from civilization, you can pay $900 for a recap. Guys, just take this advice into account. Get you a mechanic. Have that mechanic on your team along with all the other key players. This mechanic is the most important one, right next to an attorney, because he will be the sole person that's going to keep you profitable, keep your trucks, on the road once they break down. And they are going to break down at one time in the future. Your trucks will break down. So to have this guy armed and ready to get your trucks fixed back on the road, and it's a crucial step you need to take.
So big, I'm at the tip-top, ain't I? Choppers in the trunk will make you do the Macarena. Pull up to the floor, yeah, before ain't I? All black, cool, I can buy it, that's K9. Remix, Young LA and T.I., this a banger. Throw you on that thing, you don't hear me trick,